Narayana namaskritya Narayana chaiva narottaman Devam Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nastapaye Swabhadresu Nitam Bhagavata Shivaya Bhagavatu Tamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki Vede Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Hadvanta Chamhadecha Hari Savati Giyate Mukam Krotiva Chalan Pangu Langate Gri Yakripata Hambande Sri Guru Dantarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Projito Katavota Paramoni Masham Satan Vedan Vastavam Atavastu Swadon Tabatayo Molanan Shima Bhagavate Mahamoni Kritengi Vaipara Ishwara Sadhyo Rudhi Havaruta Trita Katibikta Kishanan Ningama Kapataru Galitam Falan Sukam Mukan Ravasambutan Piyibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhura Vasika Bhuvapuka Yaschavasi Yamana Krishna Paramapuruse Bhakti-yoga Punsan Soka Moha Bayapahan Atoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Beninaya Gayatri Basharupo Shovedata Paribhimita Sababiditiya Sanam Saram Saram Paribhimita Sababidantan Saram Him Si Bhagavatamishate Tarasamitasyati Ptasyanam Yitasyarati Kochit Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Gurave Gurachandaya Rajkayatadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Nama Vanchakapatrubhyascha Kripasundhivacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama. So this is the discussion about the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. This chapter 10 of 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So specifically, it's a brief summary of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. In the this old canto of Bhagavatam, 9th canto, it's all about dynasties. There are many, many dynasties out there. So all these various dynasties coming to the Raghu dynasty, by which Lord Ramachandra is the, it's called just like the popular song, Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, that is the Raghupati, the Lord of the Raghus, because Lord Ramachandra is coming from the Raghu dynasties. Raghu dynasty is the son dynasty of the Sun dynasty. There are two dynasties. Mainly there is the Sun dynasty, there's the Moon dynasty, Chandra Vamsa and Raghu Vamsa, Surya Vamsa. So Lord Ramachandra came from the Surya Vamsa, the dynasty coming from the Sun. And then Lord Krishna came from the dynasty from the Moon, Chandra Vamsa. So of course, Sukadeva Goswami, it's not that he wasn't meant to describe the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. Basically, the Bhagavatam from 1st canto to 9th canto is basically leading us to the main focus of Bhagavatam, which is the description of Lord Krishna's pastimes. But because talking of the dynasties, so Sukadeva Goswami cannot avoid describing the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So in brief, he offered prayers, basically, like different prayers which he offered, which contain within the two chapters, chapter 10 and chapter 11, whereby in a brief the pastimes of Lord Ram is being described. And of course, if you want to know more about Lord Ramchandra, apart from what is being described here in Bhagavatam, then you have to read Ramayana. And there are a few Ramayans. There's Valmiki Ramayana, which is there. There's also Adhyatma Ramayana, composed by other sages. There's about 4 or 5 different Ramayans, 4 or 5 different ones, which I know. Of course, the most famous ones is the Valmiki Ramayana. And then in this age, Kali Yuga, according to the order of the Lord himself, actually this is by the request of Anuma, because it was described that Anuma, he also wrote the pastimes of Lord Ram. He wrote Ramayana, Anuma. He wrote them on the mountains, but Valmiki wasn't so happy, he wasn't so pleased about this. So he requested Anuma that he should withdraw his Ramayana, because he had written the Ramayana, he had written the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. So then Anuma said, okay, I will do that if you make a promise that you will come back in Kali Yuga and describe the pastimes of Lord Ram in a very easy to understand language. In a very easy to understand, because Ramayana was written in Sanskrit. So unless one is educated in Sanskrit, knows how to read Sanskrit, you may not be able to read. So Anuma told Valmiki that, okay, you have to promise to come back in Kali Yuga and describe Lord Ramachandra pastimes in an easy to understand fashion. So in this age, Valmiki actually came in the form of a Tulsidas. So Tulsidas, he actually described in the local dialect, in the local language, Avadi, Hindi, old Hindi language. So he wrote Ramcharitamanas, which basically described the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. And of course, this is a very, very popular, here in India. Normally when people hear about Ramayana, normally they want to talk of Ramcharita, of Tulsidas. Tulsidas he was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. And he was glorified quite a few places by Srila Prabhupada, Tulsidas. So this section, Bhagavatam, these 2 chapters, is describing the basic pastimes. It's like overview of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So today, I'm going to read, we're supposed to read text 17 to 20. So we read that, and then I will continue the discuss on the Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So text 17. Sabaranendra balaruda bihara kushta sidwara gopura sadhu balabi vitanka neba jamana dishanandra ja ema kumbha singata kagajakulai radina guna. Translation. After entering Lanka, the monkey soldiers, led by chiefs like Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuma, occupied all the sporting houses, granaries, treasuries, palace doorways, city gates, assembly houses, palace frontages, and even the resting houses of the pigeons. When the city's crossroads, platforms, flags, and golden water pots on its dome were all destroyed, the entire city of Lanka appeared like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants. Text 18. Ragapati stabaloka nikumba kumba Dumraksha dumuka surantaka narantakadim Putam prashtam atihaya vikam panadim Sabanugan samainata kumbhakanam. Translation. When Ravan, the master of the Rakshasas, saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for Nikumba, Kumba, Dhumraksha, Dhumoka, Surantaka, Narantaka, and other Rakshasas, and also his son Indrajit. Thereafter, he called for Parashta, Atikaya, Vikampana, and finally Kumbhakarna. Then he induced all his followers to fight against the enemies. So Indrajit, I forgot his actual name. So Indrajit is so called because he defeated Indra. So he's called Indrajit. It's a very formidable fighter, big fighter. Even he defeated Indra himself. He was the son of Ravan. And of course Kumbhakarna, he was the brother of Ravan. So Jan Vijay, they came in 3 lifetimes. In one life, they were Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. And then another life, they were Ravan and Kumbhakarna. And then during Krishna Lila, they came as Shishupal and Dantabhakra. So 3 life, because they were caused to become demons to fight with the lords. So 3 life they came. So in this pastime, in this circumstance here, so Ravan is there and his brother Kumbhakarna to fight with Lord Ramachandra. Text 19. Tam yatudana pitanam asisula chapan prasasti shakti sarato marakadgadugan sugriba lakshmana marutsuta gandamada Nilanga Daksha Panasadibi Anvitogat. Translation. Lord Ramachandra, surrounded by Lakshmana and monkey soldiers like Sugriva, Hanuman, Gandamadan, Nila, Hangada, Jambavan, and Panasa, attacked the soldiers of the Rakshasas, who were fully equipped with various invisible weapons like swords, lances, bows, parasas, rishtis, shakti arrows, khadgas, and tomaras. Again, there is no English equivalence for these weapons, so they just leave the Sanskrit name there. So text 20. So we all read there. Text 20 together. Teni kapara gupate abhipata sabe Dandam barutam ibapati rataswayodhai Jagno drumai giri kadesu bi angadadhya Sita bimasa hata mangala rabanesam Te, all of them, Anekapa, the commanders of the soldiers, Raghupate, of Lord Sri Ramachandra, Abhipatir, chasing the enemy, Sarve, all of them, Dvandvam, fighting, Varutam, the soldiers of Ravana, Ibha, by elephants, Pati, by infantry, Ratha, by chariots, Ashwa, by horses, Yodhai, by such warriors, Jagnu killed them, Drumai, by throwing big trees, Giri, by peaks of mountain, Gada, by clubs, Ishubi, by arrows, Angad a deer, all the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra, headed by Angada and others, Sita of Mother Sita, Abhimasa by the anger, Hatha had been condemned, Mangala, whose auspiciousness Ravana is some, the followers or dependents of Ravana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Ramachandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus, the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana's soldiers, who had lost all good fortune because Ravan had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. Purport. The soldiers Lord Ramachandra recruited in the jungle were all monkeys and did not have proper equipment with which to fight the soldiers of Ravana. For Ravana's soldiers were equipped with weapons of modern warfare, whereas the monkeys could only throw stones, mountain peaks, and trees. It was only Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman who shot some arrows. But because the soldiers of Ravan were condemned by the curse of Mother Sita, the monkeys were able to kill them simply by throwing arrows, by throwing stones and trees. There are two kinds of strength, Daiva and Purushakara. Daiva refers to the strength achieved from the transcendence, and Purushakara refers to the strength organized by one's own intelligence and power. Transcendental power is always superior to the power of the materialist. Depending on the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one must fight one's enemies, even though one may not be equipped with modern weapons. Therefore, Krishna instructed Arjuna, Mam Anusmaran Yudhyacha, think of me and fight. We should fight our enemy to the best of our ability, but for victory, we must depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tyang te nikapar gupati abhipata save, Dwan barutan ibupati rata sayodai, Jagno domai gudi gadesu bianga dadhya, Sita bimasa atamangala rabanesan. Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Ramachandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus, the soldiers of Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana's soldiers, who had lost all good fortune because Ravan had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. So the lot of instructions are here, especially the how not to incur the wrath, the anger of women, of ladies, the powerful women. Just like during the Mahabharata, when Draupadi was brought to the assembly of the Kauravas, an attempt was made to disrobe her, to insult her, to humiliate Draupadi by stripping her naked in front of all the assembly of the Kurus. Of course, Dushasana was not successful in that. And then, so Draupadi, of course, she became so angry, obviously. She wanted to curse the Kauravas. And she was able to hold the curse. Immediately, fortunately, Gandhari came in to say, please, stop, don't curse. Stop. Don't curse. Of course, Gandhari said she was very, very annoyed that her sons, they had made this attempt to destroy Draupadi. But she knows that if Draupadi should alter this cause, a big devastation can take place. So she essentially prevented Draupadi to cause the Kauravas. So the story is there. So here, in this case, so therefore one should be very, very careful, especially in dealing, with the mothers. Don't get them angry. You get them angry, then the big devastation can take place. So Mother Sita, obviously, she caused the Ravan and all his soldiers, so they were eventually crushed by the army of Lord Ramachandra. And Lord Ramachandra's army, they were just monkeys. They were not like big fighters, big soldiers. It's not that Lord Ramachandra went to Ayodhya and took big armies headed by Bharats, Shatrughan, Then I was in the jungle because he had taken the exile. He was in the forest in exile. And on the 14th year, this episode happened, whereby the Ravan came to kidnap Sita Devi. So Lord Ram, he recruited only the monkeys to fight on his behalf. So the monkeys, they were not trained in the art of warfare. And of course, these are not ordinary monkeys, obviously. They were big monkeys, like Anuma, Sugriva. Actually, Anuma was the son of Vayudev. And Sugriva was also the son of demigods. So they were actually great personalities. But they had this form of Anuma. And this, so with the only instrument they could have is the stones, the mountain peaks, trees. This is what they could use. And of course we know that now the one thing about the monkeys is that they have their faith in Lord Ramachandra. Because they know that Lord Ram is God himself, is the Supreme Lord himself. So that is actually the source of their strength. When they were building the bridge to cross the ocean from in Rameswara to go to Lanka, so the bridge was built by throwing the stones on the water. Normally, when you throw the stones on the water will the stone will sink, it goes down. But the Anuma and all the other monkeys, so they wrote the name Ram. They wrote the name Ram on each of the rock. So they wrote Ram on it. So that stone become surcharged with Lord Ram's energy. So when they throw the rock on the water, obviously, so the rock was floating. It was not going down. So in this way, they were able to build bridge to cross to Lanka. And then this great battle took place, and the soldiers, the soldiers of Ravan, they were able to be defeated by Lord Ramachandra's soldiers, who are simply monkeys. Actually, here in this, when Lord Krishna came in 500 years ago, in order to compensate the monkeys for what they have done for him, they have helped him so much in his fight against Ravan. So therefore, Lord Krishna was always busy giving butter to the monkeys. He was busy giving them butter. Every morning, the Lord will steal the butter. He will go to so many gopis' houses. He will break the pot of yogurt, the pot of butter, and then we break them and we fill them to the monkeys. The Lord was Krishna was very grateful. He said, okay, you monkeys have done so much for me. So therefore, here's the, so he was giving them, butter. It was like he was feeding them this way. So therefore, these monkeys, they are to Lord Krishna, of course. Of course, now I don't know if I can compare that to the present-day monkeys that we have in Loi Bazaar, because the moment you go there, they took off your glasses, and so we all got angry with them. So that's the way. But the point that Srila Prabhupada was mentioning here, that the divine weapons and the demoniac weapons, and just the normal, mundane, materialistic weapons, that there's a big difference between the Daiva and Purushakara, the divine weapon, which is achieved from transcendence. It comes from it's a spiritual energy, whereas Purushakara is a strength obtained by one's own intelligence and power. But the fact is that no matter how powerful one may be, it is of no match to the power of the Lord. It is of no match, because the divine weapon is always superior to the mundane, ordinary weapon. Just like in the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra, when Duryodhana, so he went to his guru, Dronacharya, saying that on our side we have immeasurable strength. He said our strength is unlimited, it's immeasurable. Because they have great fighters like Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, big great fighters who are unconquerable. Nobody could ever defeat them. Whereas the Pandavas, they are very, very limited. They were protected by Bhima. And who is Bhima compared to Dronacharya? Who is Bhima compared to Bhishma Dev? So in this way, Duryodhana, he made this mundane assessment. But however, yeah, the Kauravas, they may have superior weapons. They may have superior soldiers. But where is Krishna? Krishna is there on the side of the Pandavas. And where is Krishna? Wherever there is Krishna, there's always be victory. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Patu Danadara, Tata Sri Vijayamurti, Dhruvaniti Matimama. This is the conclusive opinion of Sanjay when he was talking to Dronacharya, to Dhritarashtra, that wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, there will always be strength, victory, Vijaya, victory, opulence, and everything. That will always be there. So therefore, Sanjay was telling Dhritarashtra that not to put his hope so high, because Krishna is there. Krishna is the supreme mystic. What can you do? The supreme, he is the mystic among all the mystics. He is the strength of all the yogis. Everything is coming from him only. So according to his will, his devotee will always be victorious. And one thing about this Krishna devotee is that they will never depend on their own strength. To them, they always rely on the Lord's own strength, on the Lord's own mercy on them. Like they quoted here that Arjuna, when Krishna told Arjuna, Mam anos smaran yudhyacha, think of me and fight. Think of me and fight, you will always remain victorious. So therefore, devotees, they'll engage in all kinds of endeavor, but they engage all kinds of endeavor with the thought of the Lord. And they will never depend on their own strength, on their own power. Whereas the materialists, they base everything on their own strength, on their own calculation. That I'm so much, I have so much capability. But devotee will never do that. Devotees only depend on the Lord's own will, on the Lord's own mercy upon them. So Lord Ramachandra, so he performed these pastimes. And of course, Lord Ram is Krishna himself, is Lord Krishna himself, but with a different purpose. Lord Krishna is It's called Lila Purushottam, in the sense that he came to perform many pastimes for his own pleasure. Whereas Lord Ram, he is called Mayada Purushottam. Mayada means the rules and regulations. He came as a strict moralist. He will not do anything to violate the Vedic principles. Whereas Lord Krishna is now, Lord Krishna does not believe in any morals, But this, of course, this is to the materialistic point of view, of course. But Lord Ram, he was a strict moralist. Strict moralist. His whole life, he never contravenes anything that opposes religious principles. And that's why during Lord Ram's time, everything was very peaceful. There was harmony, complete harmony among all the citizens. That's why nowadays, normally people, they hoping for Ram Rajya, the kingdom of Ram, but you want Ram kingdom, but you want Ram kingdom without Ram. So how is that possible? Because in the Ram kingdom, Ram is the center of everything. Everything is centered around him only. But if you want a Ram kingdom without Ramachandra, so how is that possible? That's just illusion only. So the difference between Lord Ram is very, very strict principles. And throughout his whole life, his whole pastime, is so reflecting on that. And that's why most of the time, it's always difficult for people to really understand the Lord's purpose, the Lord's Ramachandra's appearance, his activities. It's so difficult to understand. Because here's a person who, the night before he was supposed to be coronated as a king, he stepped on that step and he said, no, I want my son instead to be coronated. Because her son was Bharat. I want my son instead to be coronated. After all, Dasharatha Maharaj, he had promised her that whatever you want, you can ask. Long story itself. So the day before the coronation, when Ram was it was already announced that next morning he will be crowned as the king of Ayodhya, as the crown prince. But Kakeyi said, no, I want my son instead. And not just that, I don't want Ram to be in the city. Because if he's in the city, then because the citizens, they have affection for Lord Ram, because they have affection for Ram, so there may be some kind of revolution, there may be some kind of rebellion, and all these things. So therefore, I don't want Ram to be in the city. He should be excited. He should go to the forest. This was the day before the coronation took place. Of course, Dasharatha Maharaj was very, very heartbroken. That, what is this? How can you be so crude that you don't want Ram to become king, and at the same time you want him to be banished to the forest? What is this? How can you be so crude? But Kakeyi was so determined that, no, this is what I want. So, and because you have made me a promise, so you have to execute this. So that's right, it was complete perplexity. Now, because Ramachandra, he was such an ideal son, he knew the supreme will of the Father. So being an ideal son, he knew about this, that what is worrying his father. So immediately decided, it's okay, I will not be king, and tonight I will go to the forest tonight. So Lord Ram, so he went to the forest. And of course, from that time, he was not nobody. Everyone in the city, in the kingdom, everyone was heartbroken. Even when Bharat came back, because that time Bharat was not in the city. He had gone to see the mother-in-law. When he came back, he was so surprised that how could this be? How can my mother be so crude like this? So Bharat himself, he was so disappointed. He was so disheartened that he himself, he said, I'm not going to stay in the city. So he he stayed outside the city, even though he went to the forest to go to try to get Loram to come back to the city. That don't mind my mother, forget about whatever she said. No, Loram said, no, this must be executed. And then, of course, then Bharat, he took the ram's shoe. So, okay, this shoe will be guiding the kingdom, that I'm simply going to rule on behalf of you. So this is the way. So Lord Ram's Lila, so it's like one suffering after the other, but make it difficult to understand. And not just that, when the Lord was in the forest, and then on the 14th year, when he was supposed to be returning back to the forest, back to the city, the Ravan came and kidnapped his wife, Sita Devi. Kidnapped his wife and took her to Ayodhya. So this is a great, you come and kidnap somebody's wife. Now, of course, we know that Ravan actually never really touched Sita. He never really touched Sita. Because when Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling in South India, so there was one Brahmana who was greatly lamenting that how could Ravan kidnap Mother Sita. So he was lamenting, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, actually Ravan never touches Sita. He simply, Ravan kidnapped the illusory Sita, not the actual Sita. Because Sita Devi is Lakshmi Devi, who could touch her. No materialistic person could touch her. But when Ravan came, so Agni Dev came and actually have Mother Sita in his palace, and then he presented the illusory form of Sita to Sita Devi. But still, it's there that Ravan kidnapped Sita and then went to he took her to his kingdom. And there are many stories that took place. Now, this Leela was Leela of the Lord. So the Lord was lamenting greatly for Sita Devi. He was full of lamentation. He and Lakshman, they were going forest to forest, searching for Sita, lamenting greatly for her. So as they were going lamenting, so one time, Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi, they were in the sky, in the aeroplane, and then they were hearing the lamentation of Sita, of Lord Ram. They was lamenting, searching for his wife. So so Parvati Devi looked down and become very concerned. Then he asked Shivaji that, how is it that Ram is lamenting for his wife? After all, he is the Supreme Lord, he is the Bhagavan. How can Bhagavan be lamenting for his wife? What is this? What is this situation? So Lord Shiva replied, well, this is the Lord's pastime, this is the Lord's Leela. This is difficult for ordinary people to understand. But this was difficult for Parvati Devi to accept. She said, okay. So she came down and then she decided to test Lord Ram. She did that by taking the form of Sita Devi. She took the form of Sita Devi and presented herself in front of Ramachandra. So when Lord Ram saw her, so the Lord simply said, oh, Mata, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be with your husband. Why are you doing here alone in the forest? What are you doing here in the forest? So, of course, Parvati Devi, she was surprised. She was ashamed that, the Lord could immediately recognize her. She thought that she could play a trick on Lord Ram by assuming the form of Sita Devi. But this did not work on Lord Ramachandra. He said, you are not supposed to be here in the forest without your husband. So, of course, Parvati Devi, she felt so ashamed that she could not even present herself before Lord Shiva, that she had doubted what Lord Shiva told her, So, and then, of course, then she had to give up that form, and then she became the daughter of the mountain, like that. So, in this way, these pastimes of the Lord going to the forest, his wife being kidnapped, And then not just that, even after the end of the battle, when the Ravan kingdoms, when they were defeated, when they were all exterminated, and Sita Devi was supposed to come back to Loram. And the Loram said that I have to test that because Sita Devi had been kidnapped by Ravan, so therefore she must have been contaminated. And the only way by which to test her purity was for her to cross a river, to come through the fire. She must cross the fire. So this was so unbearable for the devotees that, oh, how is this? Sita Devi is pure. And the Lord wanted her to come through the fire. That this is his desire. So, and of course, Sita Devi came through the fire. She came out as Sita Devi. The fire was not, of course, could not affect her. However, during that time, the illusory Sita was taken away by Agnidev, and the real Sita came out of the fire. So the Lord was happy, and then he was. Then they returned to Ayodhya. So some of these things some of this lila was always very difficult for people to understand. And another thing which I want to mention is the pastimes of the Lord. The pastime of Lord Ram supposedly banishing Sita Devi to the forest, because when the Lord, when he was going through the city, he found that some low-class men, some washermen, was talking about, was making some rumor that Lord Ram, he could accept his wife back, even though she had been taken by another man. But I'm not going to do that. So hearing this, Lord Ram decided to send Sita Devi to the forest. However, this pastime, in reality, it never takes place. This is the opinion of many authorities. This Uttaramayan, which discussed that the Lord Ram sent his wife to the forest, this Uttaramayan, you will not find anywhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and you will not find anywhere among all the authorities that this pastime was an interpolation, that the Lord sent his wife to the forest. The fact is, Sita is always with Ram, and Ram is always with Sita. We know that in the West, we have some of our many of our devotees, our lady devotees, who are like feminists. They get angry with Lord Ram that, oh, how could it be so crude that he sent his wife he banished his wife to the forest. The reality is that that pastime is actually an interpolation. The Lord never really sent his wife to the forest. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he was always very, very affectionate to his devotees, and especially among his devotees are the devotees of Lord Ramachandra. The chief among them was Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. Actually, there was one time when Lord Ram told him that, look, I have started this moment of chanting Krishna Nam, chanting Krishna mantra, so therefore, I want you to start chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Because Murari Gupta was a devotee of Lord Ram, and he only chant Ram's name only. So hearing this instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Murari Gupta tried to chant Krishna's name, but he could not. So the next day, he approached Mahaprabhu. He said, my dear Lord, please allow me to die today, to die before you, because I have sold my head at the lotus feet of Raghunath. So I try to follow instruction. I cannot follow your instruction because I could not, I could not just abandon the chanting of Ram's name. So therefore, allow me to die today. And of course, Mahaprabhu was very, very happy. Then he embraced Murari Gupta that, yes, you are a true devotee of Lord Ram. So Mahaprabhu was very, very happy. So there is a prayer which was composed by Murari Gupta, And this prayer was recited before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by which the Lord was very, very happy. So I could just recite the prayer here. There are 8. It's called Ramashtakam. Raja Krita Mani Diditi Dipitasan, Hudya Paspati Kavipratimi Vahanta, Dve Kundale Anka Rakitendu Samana Bhakta, Ramanjaga Traya Guru Satam, Sarata Bajami. Though his face is like a spotless moon, still it is further brightened by a shiny crown of jewels. His earrings resemble Jupiter and Venus rising in the evening sky. I forever worship this Lord Sri Ram, Guru of the 3 worlds. Anyway, there are 8 prayers, and we don't have so much time. So this prayer you find in the this is in the Chaitanya Charita. It's a biography book which was written by Murari Gupta, and you find this prayer. And when Mahaprabhu heard this prayer, so Mahaprabhu was very, very happy, and on the forehead of Murari, he wrote Ramdas, that yes, you are the true servant of Lord Ram. And there's a prayer also recited by Anumaji. He said, what is that verse, famous verse? What is that verse? Well, yes, Srinate, Janakinate, Chabeda, Paramatmane, Tata Paramaswara, Ramapadmalochane. Srinath means this husband of Lakshmi. Janakiman means the husband of Janaki, who is Sita Devi. It's a Srinath, Janaki Nate, Chabeda. He said that they are both, even though they are both the same persons, Srinath or Narayan or Ram, they are the same person. Still, I worship the lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra. So in this way, the devotees of Lord Ram, they are always very, very fixed at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. Just as devotees of Lord Krishna, they are always very, very fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. They are the same person, just a matter of what kind of attraction that one has towards each form of the Lord. So I'm going to stop here. If there is a comment or question about it's a wonderful lila that is going on. Any points? Any question? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Is it working?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So the end of the Ramayana that Lord Ramachandra sent Sita Devi to the forest, according to many Acharya, is not verified.
No. It's supposedly written by one person by the name Bhupadev. He wrote this in around 18th century, basically to malign the character of Lord Ramachandra, to malign his characters. So this supposedly is interpolation. So many authorities do not recognize this Uttaramaya. Even Tulsidas never talks about it. Mahaprabhu, through all his discussion, pastime with his devotees, this never comes up. It never, you will not find in many authorities, they don't accept Uttaramaya.
So thank you for being very happy to hear that, because I didn't like this end of Ramayana.
Yeah, many people don't like it.
So is it that also the washerman speaking bad about Lord Ramachandra is also an extrapolation?
Yeah, this is part of the Uttaramaya. That Uttaramaya is an interpolation of Ram. Is an interpolation. It's not reality. It's, So this story is a made-up story. So you find many stories are like that in the Purana. So-called people, they put their own thing there. And the person, the Bhupadev, he wasn't much of a devotee himself. He was like an atheist actually. I think I was told that he was a Buddhist. Yeah. If you want to hear more about this, you can talk with Radha Govinda Maharaj. He will tell you more about this. Okay. Any other point? Any, huh?
A general question.
Yeah.
Where can I follow this lecture online?
It's ISKCON Vrindavan. You go to YouTube.
Vrindavan and then
YouTube.
Ishwara.
Yeah. YouTube is also there. It's every day. All the lectures are there every day. YouTube.
Either for you, either for Ishwara.
Yeah. You can say. So thank you very much. Grand Rashmi Bhagavatam ki. Sila Prabhupada ki. Gopi Menande.